Whenever you're ready.
Hey, welcome back, football fans. It's me, your commissioner, Ross, here with another exciting Marble video to determine the draft pick order. Now, of course, you may be asking yourself, Ross, why another Marble video? Well, the truth is, I ran out of ideas. And I just think about marbles all day long anyway, so I figured I might as well combine my two passions. The other thing you may be thinking is, Ross, why would I watch a 20-minute video when I could easily just look in the comments and read the results right here? And that's another great question. So we've got a lovely course here for you. This is something myself and Kristen designed. We start with the rainbow gates on either end. Now there'll be a team of 4 marbles lined up all behind the gates. I've got one example marble here for us today. I release the starting gate, and the marble rolls towards the center. Now, while this is happening, there's a lot going on this board. This fidget spinner is spinning, this fidget spinner is spinning, and this fidget spinner is spinning. This is going to cause a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. Things are bouncing off rubber bands, things are knocking over these towers of power. That's their official name. We all know why they're called that. And we've also got these dominoes on the outside. They change color as the matches intensify. Eventually, you'll find that marbles will land on either the middle platform, the lower platform, or off the table altogether, and those correspond to different numbers of points. If you land anywhere on this middle center ring, anything in between the footballs, you get 2 points. Anything on this outside ring, you get 1 point. Anything over here or even off the table is worth nothing. So it'll be head-to-head matchups. We'll start off in group stages, which I'll explain in just a bit, and eventually we'll determine draft pick order. So I hope you find that interesting, and if not, you can totally skip this, and I'll have the results posted down below. But hey, if you want to watch, I'd appreciate it.
Whenever you're ready.
Let's go ahead and meet the competitors for this year. Starting off in this first position, we've got Bret. He's sporting the Thunderbolt. They say lightning comes before the thunder. But in this case, well, we'll see. Maybe something weird will happen. Next, we've got Weston and his kind of lustrous green marbles. It's kind of hard to pick up that green in there, but I swear it does exist. He looks very similar to Keith's Carnival marbles. Keith's marbles were originally called Fun Fair, but I didn't know what that was, so I changed it to Carnival. Next, we've got Cat's. She actually has the green cat's eye marbles, so we've got the green envy as the name. They're kind of a nice looking color, I think. Next is the Ocean by Chris. The Ocean takes up 70% of the world, but only 1/12 of the competition. Next we've got Brad. He's got the Bear Claw. Claws out, kitty cat. He's ready to attack. Next we've got Kristal and her... shark. Don't call her baby shark, or she might snap at you. It's a story. I'll tell you about it later. Or she'll tell me about it later, more likely. It's Shark Week. Watch out. Next, we've got Caitlin and her Medusa jellyfish. Although we have a last-minute change, actually. During the pre-race warm-ups, one of these marbles actually got injured. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's kind of damaged on a couple sides, and it doesn't even roll anymore. And a marble that doesn't roll is one of the saddest things I know. So instead, we've got a replacement for it. We're going to throw out the Eagle marble from last year. It doesn't have a team this year, but it is eager to compete, and the Medusa jellyfish have embraced it like one of their own. A jellyfish and an eagle? Now I've seen everything. We've got Ryan's chameleon marbles. It's psychedelic, it blends right in, and it's just fitting for Ryan, who has had it for 2 years running now. Austin will be taking over the Scorpion marbles. These used to belong to Shamika, but now we've got Austin taking her place as sort of a newcomer. Will he bring her same energy? We'll find out. My name is Ross, and I've got the Moss marbles. It would be a loss at such a cost if I lost. And then we've got Matt and his Caterpillar marbles. They'll be... I got to think of something good for this. Hopefully they can... fly like a caterpillar and sting like a caterpillar. A bee. Nope, a butterfly. Nope, float. Well, anyway, there they are. So we've got all these laid out. We've actually got these laid out in a particular order. The way this competition works, you'll do several head-to-head matchups. You'll begin in your group stages. So each marble here is going to be in 4 different groups. So this is Group A, this is Group 1, this is Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. You'll play head-to-head matchups against the other marbles in your group. The points will be determined by the marbles remaining on the foam field, and eventually will determine who finishes first, second, and third in the group. Should you finish third, you move down to the third tier. If you finish second, you'll move in the second tier. If you finish first, you'll move in the first tier. And everybody does this until we have 3 different tiers determined. And it's really quite simple. The third tier here will be competing for picks number 12, 11, 10, and 9. The second tier competing for picks 8, 7, 6, and 5. And the final tier, the most coveted tier, competing for those 1, 2, 3, and 4 picks. So we'll watch this whole video together and we'll find everything out. Or again, you can just skip down to the bottom if you want. It doesn't bother me. But let's get this thing started. I'm very excited. Let's have a wonderful marbleistic day. Good enough. In this first matchup of the Marble Collision Tournament of the B-League, we've got one newcomer versus one old-timer. It's Weston and his luster green marbles versus Keith and his carnival marble. They look pretty similar until you get up close, but I'll keep the viewers abreast of all the changes. Let's fire up the fidget spinners. Knock down some things. You may notice we've got the cotton candy colored dominoes out this time. The colors of the dominoes will increase in importance as we move on through the stages. This is the group stage. And we're fixing a fidget spinner, so now everything's working properly. Let's release in 3, 2, 1. Marbles are off. And that's just mayhem right off the gate. The middle spinner is nearly stopped, but it's still making some contact. The foam board on top is, of course, worth 2 points. The outside ring worth 1. That means that the luster green marbles of Weston's are going to have 5 points to Keith's 4, so he will take that first win. They are very similar looking, though, aren't they? In the second matchup of the first group, we've got Keith coming off that unfortunate loss versus Bret and his Thunderbolt boys. We're going to line them up and see what happens. It's a very exciting matchup, but again, this is just the group stage. A loss does not doom you to being that bottom pick. You can still recover from here. Let's fire up the fidget spinners. And 3, 2, 1, release the marbles. And 2 immediately go off on Keith's side. 3 go off. Bret holding on, but he gets decked and goes off the table. Looks like it's going to be a 1 marble win for Bret. He gets the single solitary point. That pink domino saved him. The marbles are flying today, but Bret was able to stick the landing and just barely coast by. That does mean Keith will move into Tier 3 in the marble matchups. Bret still has a chance at Tier 1 or 2. And this is the final matchup of the Group 1 stage of the Group B League of the potential Tier 1 to 3 matchup. I'm saying a lot of numbers and letters, but let's get excited. This is going to be Bret, who's got to win, versus Weston, who's got to win, trying to get into that Tier 1 matchup for one of those top 4 picks. Winner moves on to Tier 1. Loser will go to Tier 2. Let's fire up the fidget spinners. And release in 3, 2, 1. And they're off. Looks like, Bret's marble gets stuck to the tower. A power goes flying, by the way. And they're still battling it out down there. Where will they roll there? Going to that yellow fidget spinner. He gets knocked several times. Won't go off. Eventually it does. Weston and his luster green rolling around death. Will he roll all the way off? Unfortunately, he will. That's going to be a total reset. Nothing went right. Everybody flew off. And we are just going to have to restart this whole process over. But that's kind of the excitement of the marble collision, isn't it? Almost anything can happen. I've seen peg people destroyed. I've seen somebody lose an eye. Check out the other video. I've seen a tower go flying. We've had false starts, starting gates not moved. But eventually we'll get all this sorted out. And we can kind of fix some things up as we go. It looks like these rubber bands are about to fly off at any moment, possibly throwing a tack in someone's real life eye. I hope that doesn't happen. But I think we're all ready to go for the second run of this. Hopefully somebody stays on. We just need at least one to stay on. Again, this is for either that Tier 1 or Tier 2 spot. 3, 2, 1, release. Oh, and they're just absolutely destroyed. But this time we do have a couple stay on. Thanks to those dominoes, we've got 2 of Bret's marbles scoring 2 points, 1 of Weston's scoring 1. Bret does get 2 wins in his group, and he's going to move on to Tier 1. In the first matchup of the second group, we've got newcomer Chris Plot, C-Plot to his friends. Actually, I'm the only one who calls him that. He's rocking the Ocean Marbles versus Cat's Green-Eyed, Green Envy, Green Monster Marbles. Let's see how it shakes out. 3, 2, 1, release. Oh, got in just absolute mayhem right off the bat. The Green-Eyed Monster staying on the track. Don't hit that red spinner. Looks like they're going to be okay, bouncing off the rubber band. And pushing its fellow marble to safety, he says, avoid that red spinner. I got you. Let's go settle here safely by the ramp. Cat's going to go ahead and win by a score of 4-2. Judges, is this 1 point or 2 points? 4-2. Cat will take the initial victory. In the second matchup, we've got Chris trying to come back after that devastating loss to Cat. He'll be taking on Brad and his sharp bear claws. But are these bear claws more donut or more bear? We'll find out in just a moment. Let's fire up the fidget spinners. And release the marbles in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and they stay on the board, but they get flipped about. We've got 2 marbles over there. Brad will stay on that 1 point, that blue domino, saving him and giving him the narrow victory. That means Chris will be in the Tier 3. He'll be picking in spots 12, 11, 10, or 9. Brad and Cat fighting out next matchup. See who gets Tier 1, who gets Tier 2. Now, before we get started, we've actually got to attend to some touch-up of the spectators. Cat versus Brad will have to wait, as we actually had another one of our peg people, children, miss an eye. He only had one eye to begin with. That was my fault. We're putting that eye back on to make him more Cyclops than Blindclops, and hopefully he'll be able to... Oh, God, he's been dropped and falling apart. Hey, but that eye is on there. I bet it can wiggle about. This way he'll be seeing the field, not with great depth perception, but at least he'll be seeing it. He's having a good time out there. He's jumping around. He might even jump near his pappy there. Well, anyway, that fan, let's get hit that fan another barrier, something to protect him by. Perfect. The security barriers are kind of a new rule they're thinking about doing. It's much like safety netting in baseball. Eventually, I think there'll be borders all around the people, but for now, we've just got it around the kids who miss eyes. Let's go ahead and fire up this last battle. The winner goes into Tier 1 and possibly gets a top 4 pick. The loser gets a middle pick. So this is an important battle. It's Cat versus Brad. Cat with those green-eyed monsters. 3, 2, 1, release. Oh, and Brad's marbles go up the ramp. They're staying on the board pretty well. He goes out the corner, but Brad does have 1 marble in the center until he gets bumped off, and off the table goes Brad altogether. Cat will hold on to a very narrow lead. She had 1 marble just on the corner, right here by that white domino. Well, it was right here. I'm not trying to cheat for Cat, but she did get the win against Brad 1-0. In the first matchup of Group 3, we've got 2 female bartenders battling it out. We've got Kristal and her shark marbles versus Caitlin and her Medusa jellyfish marbles. Now, as I explained in the intro, we did have an injury to Caitlin's Medusa jellyfish, so she's got a replacement. It's Aaron's eagle marble from last year. Let's see if it can continue to help her out. Fans of the other video might note that it did pretty well last time out. Let's see how it does against the shark in these dangerous waters. Go ahead and fire the fidget spinners. And release in 3, 2, 1. And they're going to stay on the board for the most part. Oh, the replacement goes right off. Medusa jellyfish not holding on. It looks like the shark will bite the jellyfish. 2 ocean creatures. I would expect a shark to win, so this is just natural evolution at work right here. Kristal takes the lead 2-1. In this second matchup, we've got another bartender versus bartender. In fact, this whole group is the bartender group of death. This time it's a chameleon versus a Medusa jellyfish. Ryan not having a whole lot of success in the last video, but we'll see how he fares this time against Caitlin. As I knock over a child, I can place him right back up, though. He's very happy. Look, he's going on a merry-go-round ride. We're going to go ahead and fire up those fidget spinners. Replace that block, thanks to the maintenance crew. They want to make sure everything's just in perfect tip-top shape. Yep, get that one too. Perfect. And we're ready to go here. Actually, let me give these another spin. We want a nice fair fight for all these matches. We're going to go ahead and release in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and Caitlin's marbles get knocked around. She's hitting that middle. The replacement, Aaron's Eagle, staying... Just kidding. Commentator's curse again gets knocked off, bounced off that rubber band and right off the table. But it's not going to be enough. Caitlin's Medusa jellyfish will hold on by a score of 3 to Ryan 0. That's not the start he was hoping for in the second chance. In the final group stage matchup, we see Kristal, who already has a win under her belt, versus Ryan, who is looking to get that first win. Should he do that, it'll go down to the judges' tally, and we'll have to figure out where everybody goes. So Ryan could be more desperate, and as they say, a desperate chameleon always beats a shark. Let's go ahead and fire up the fidget spinners. And release in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and I see some serious shots from the chameleons, but it looks like they might stay on. Settling in that corner spot, Kristal's definitely got one on the 2 for sure. Nothing's going to move. And Ryan's just going to settle into that fidget spinner, basking in the glory of the crowd. Ryan will get that win, and I'll be back in a moment to tally up the points. And after tallying up the points, we've got an exciting match for you here today. All 3 bartenders went 1-1. All 3 scored 4 points total across their 2 matches. So we're going to have a 3-way sudden death match. Each marble has 2 on the field. We'll tally up the points and see where it lands. Hopefully I don't have to rerun anything. We'll just see how it works out, though. Should be really exciting. There'll be 3 marbles to track. That's Kristal's shark, Ryan's chameleon, and Caitlin's Medusa jellyfish. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, and Ryan gets absolutely obliterated. He's definitely off the table. Looks like Kristal's going to go ahead and stay on. And if we can get one of Caitlin's to hang on, this will be perfect. Currently, Kristal is in first. And Caitlin went off second to last, so she will finish in Tier 2. And Ryan will finish in Tier 3 because he was just immediately destroyed. Also, shout out, if you're a fan of Medusa, go check out Aaron's Medusa thing on Instagram coming out soon. In our last group, we've got an exciting matchup. It's Austin versus Matt. Austin new to our league, but he has played fantasy football in the past. Matt coming off a big win in the last video. He got the first pick. Let's see how he does here against a scorpion. Normally, caterpillars don't fare too well, but in marbles, anything is possible. Let's fire up the fidget spinners and release in 3, 2, 1. And they're off. They're all staying on the board for the most part. Scorpions are about to take the lead. Oh, some shots from that yellow fidget spinner. Okay, we're not going to get too many to stay on that top level. I'm going to need some judges' decisions. Looks like we have just one on the middle panel. Or are we giving points to those scorpions?
I think one.
Yeah, just the one that's higher up.
The higher up one.
It's 2, the other one.
Oh, and a controversial decision, some would say. Austin does get 2 points for this one. 1 point for this one.
He's touching the ground all the way on the other one. This one is still leveled up.
That one is...
Okay,
really
hang on. I'm getting some ruling from the referee. If you actually touch the ground of the bottom foam board, it's worth 1 point. The domino is replacing this one just... I swear, it was just in midair, worth 2 points. Let's total up the... there's a lot of marbles on the field this time. Actually, in a clean sweep, Gammon keeps all of his marbles on the board, which I don't think has ever happened. He'll finish with 5 points, whereas Austin will have 4 points and narrowly take the loss. In the second matchup of the fourth group, we've got two sets of green marbles. Don't get confused. It's Matt's Caterpillars versus Ross's Moss. Or the Matterpillars versus Ross Moss. I'm saying words now. We're going to go ahead and fire up the fidget spinners and see what happens. I'll keep the audience abreast of anything that exciting that happens. We'll release in 3, 2, 1. And they're off. There's green everywhere. Green bloodbath. Ross getting, hit off that rubber band, but stays on. And he's going to bump Matt's Caterpillar in a show of trash talking, I think. However, the trash talking might have come too early, as Matt's Caterpillars actually get that win, and for sure will get a top 4 pick. Matt gets a score of 4. Ross gets a score of 3. And he'll have to duke it out with Austin to see who finishes in Tier 2 and Tier 3. In the final matchup of any of the group stages, we've got Austin versus Ross. It's a less of a pressure-filled situation. They're going for those Tier 2 or Tier 3. As explained in the intro, Tier 2 will get you either an 8th, 7th, 6th, or 5th pick. Tier 3, you're going to be in the bottom 4. That's 12, 11, 10, or 9. But both competitors are going to definitely fiercely compete. It's Scorpions versus Moss. Let's fire up the spinners. And release in 3, 2, 1. And it's just mayhem initially. The yellow fidget spinner hitting its yellow friend off the table. We may have 2 settling on top, but Ross's 1 towards the bottom is going to be the difference. Ross will make it in that Tier 2, just like in the last video, and Austin will go down to Tier 3. Next up, we've got the Tier 3 matchups to determine 12th, 11th, 10th, and 9th. In this first of the Tier 3 matchup, we've got Austin the Scorpion versus Chris and his oceanic blue marbles. You can see on the field we've changed up the color. We've intensified the arena a little bit. We've also added some safety barriers around the peg people. There have just been too many injuries lately, so better safe than sorry. We'll go ahead and kick this off. This battle and the next battle will determine who gets picks 12, 11, 10, and 9. So let's fire up the fidget spinners. And release the marbles in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and Chris's go immediately off. Oh, and the barriers did not help that time. Oh, and Scorpions are getting battered and beaten, but staying on. That tower power helping them out. That's a very good performance by Austin, and one of the highest performances we've seen. He earned 7 points. Chris will finish with 2. So Austin will move on to either get 9th or 10th pick. Chris falls back to 11th or 12th. In this next Tier 3 matchup, we've got Keith and his Carnival marbles versus Ryan and his Chameleon marbles. You know what happens when you take a chameleon to a carnival. Or do you? Let's go ahead and fire these up and get these things ready. We'll release in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and Keith's marbles doing a great job staying on. Oh, and as I say that, they all get flipped off that side, all surrounding the children over there. And rolling off the table, looks like Keith will go ahead and take the victory, though. He will either be fighting for 9th or 10th. Ryan, once again, not the season he wanted. He's going to be getting 11th or 12th, which if you watch the first video is where he finished last time. And we've got a very important matchup. This is the first matchup to officially decide pick order of the B-League league. We've got Ryan and Chris. Again, both not what they wanted this year, but they can at least settle for 11th. It's still going to be a good battle. As we all know, chameleons live in the ocean. Giving you a lot of chameleon facts this time around. Let's go ahead and fire up those spinners. Yep. And release in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and I see some bouncing shots. Ryan staying on pretty well. He's got all 4 marbles on the board, and they will stay on. Chris does get 1, but Ryan will finish in the 11th pick. And Chris at the very bottom, he'll have 12th pick in this year's draft. And in the final match of Tier 3, we'll figure out who gets the 9th pick and who gets the 10th pick. We've got Austin the Scorpion hoping to make a big sting at the carnival. Yeah, that metaphor really works. Let's go ahead and fire up the fidget spinners. And release in 3, 2, 1. Oh, gosh. That's got some height on that time. Oh, but Austin Scorpion's really hanging around this time. It's too bad he couldn't do quite as well in the group stage, but he'll have to record another high score of 5 to... Yep, he shut out Carnival Keith to a score of 0. That means Austin will go ahead and get the 9th pick, and Keith will get the 10th pick. In this first match of Tier 2, you can once again see we've intensified the color of the dominoes on the field. Instead of going for a foresty look, we're now going for midnight black. Dark is the night that the marbles battle on, if I could say some poetry at you for a second. This time we've got Weston versus Brad. Weston with his lustrous green marbles. Brad with his bear claw, hoping to scratch some color. Oh boy, I've really not been as on point in this time around, but that's okay. This is about the 3rd hour of filming we've been doing. Let's go ahead and spin these fidget spinners. And release the marbles in 3, 2, 1. Oh gosh, total mayhem right off the bat, but that bear claw will get hit by the fidget spinner and settle right near the Tower of Power. Looks like we've got some sneaking behind some dominoes. I can see 2 of Weston's, but that 1 of Brad's on the top will make the difference. So Brad will get either the 5th or 6th pick, and Weston will get either 7th or 8th. In this next matchup, we've got Caitlin versus Ross. Ross sporting that mossy green look. Caitlin, of course, with the Medusa jellyfish and the fill-in of the eagle. Gosh, what does one say about jellyfish and moss? Well, they have so much in common. I'm sure you're thinking of 3 or 4 things already. As you think about that, let's go ahead and fire up these fidget spinners. Aaron's making some kind of plus sign at me. Cross. She wants me to say the word cross. We are in a church. I see what she's saying now. It's Caitlin versus Ross, cross, moss, boss. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, go ahead and 3, 2, 1, release those marbles. Oh, God. And hey, I stayed on for once. Oh, I hope I didn't say that too soon. I'm the only one spinning around, hanging out. Let's not hit that red fidget spinner. That'd be bad. Yeah, settle into that metal spot where all the glory happens. The spectators look on at my brilliant achievement as I crush a Medusa jellyfish beneath my mossy grip. I'll be competing for either the 5th or 6th pick. Caitlin will have either the 7th or 8th. In a matchup to decide picks, we've got Weston in his lustrous green color. We've got Caitlin in her Medusa jellyfish color. 2 of the prettiest marbles you're going to see today, and they'll be clashing it out on the foam marble field. It's a fight. So, no, it's... Listen. Oh, yeah, that's good. Medusa will... No. It's a fight so tight, Lady Luck don't know what to write. Let's go ahead and spin these fidget spinners. You'll cut most of that out, right? Oh, great. And release in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and the Tower of Power goes down. Oh, and the dominoes got down. Medusa jellyfish falls off the table. And I couldn't catch it. But it looks like that replacement marble still hanging in there. The only one on the board. But they're actually going to lose for the first time. The one on the middle does not win. Weston has 3 marbles on the outside and will take the 7th pick. Caitlin will get the 8th. In another matchup to decide picks, we've got Brad's Bear Claw versus Ross's Moss. There's not really a whole lot to say about these anymore. I mean, I don't know. I'm just getting tired, I think. I just ate. I'm a little groggy. Have you ever heard of tryptophan? I had some turkey on a sandwich, and I'm not feeling too good anymore. I could take a nap right after this. Let's finish these finished spinners. And 3, 2, 1. Oh, and there's just chaos, and hitting that fidget spinner multiple times, the Tower of Power actually doesn't help him at all. It rolls him right off the table. Brad's Bear Claw, who, if you can see this, maimed a child. Once again, that barrier did nothing. But he will go on to score 2-0 Brad will be getting the 5th pick, and I will be taking the 6th. It's that tier you've all been waiting for. Yes, it's the Tier 1 group. The stage is on fire. Actually, it's probably not all of you who've been waiting. It's mostly just the last 4 of you who are kind of like, which pick am I going to get? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Well, you're about to find out. When we've got a good matchup here, we'll finally answer the question, what happens when a thunderbolt strikes a caterpillar? And I can't wait. It's Bret versus Matt. 3, 2, 1. Oh, and they take out that right side, and the caterpillars are flying everywhere. It looks like Bret will hold on by a single solitary marble. Children down. And just pray for the children. Send your thoughts and prayers. T&P, everybody. T&P. It's Kristal versus Kat in this Tier 1 matchup. Kristal actually took Kat's job a few years ago. Perhaps Kat's green envy will help her in this final matchup. That was pretty good. Nope, Erin's shaking her head. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and fire these fidget spinners and release the marbles. This will be for a chance at up to the top pick. Go ahead and release in 3. Oh, we almost had a false start. Go ahead and release in 3, 2, 1. And Kat is slow out of the gate, but maybe it helped to her advantage. Oh gosh, Kat getting bombarded all over the field, but that 1 is going to stay on. And tie. We're actually going to have a tie, 1 on, 2 on the bottom for Kristal. We're going to rerun Kristal's 2 marbles versus Kat's 1 marble. I would think. Yeah. And the ref agrees. We have both a ref and a judge. It's very confusing.
You can keep talking.
Oh, yeah. And while they're setting up, might I remind you that I should have mentioned this earlier during the Medusa Jellyfish match, but we do have a lovely program coming out. It's called Medusa. It's going to premiere on September 8th. It's written and directed by Erin, who's helping me film this today. It comes out on YouTube and Instagram. Go check it out. It should be a grand old time. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. Oh, they're ready. I can stop saying nice things. Let's go ahead and run this last bout. We've got 2 of Kristal's marble, 1 of Kat's, and we'll see how this all works out. This is for the tie. Release the marbles. 3, 2, 1. Kristal immediately knocked off, and that was a big mistake. I'm
1v1?
Let's just do a 1v1. Yep. Let's just leave everything down. Just keep things spinning. Just release them. 3, 2, 1, go. And let's just keep it going. Yep, one more time. The fidget spinners will slow down. Things will not get knocked around as often. Put them in there. 3, 2, 1, go. Both are going to stay on, of course. Hey. We're going to tie again. Boy, this has never happened, folks. This is unprecedented. Release them at each other. Throw them. There we go. 1 fell off. That's a win for Kristal. You saw it. This is all very fair. It's in the rules, actually. Check your rule book. Kristal is going to go ahead and move on to either first or second pick. Kat's going to get 3rd or 4th. In this match to determine picks 3 and 4, we've got a very highly anticipated match. It's Matt. It's Kat. It's crazy. Let's go ahead and fire those fidget spinners. Oh. And we'll release in 3, 2, 1. They're both green, by the way, so just keep your eyes out. Oh gosh, Kat getting sent right back up the ramp and up again, and eventually out. That means Matt, the Caterpillar, the Matterpillar, will go ahead and take this win by a score of 2-0. Kat totally obliterated. It's a shutout. So Kat will get the 4th pick. Matt got that 3rd pick. This is it, football fans. The moment we've all been waiting for. We've got our final matchup. Oh, finally. I'm almost done. Not really. We've got Kristal versus Bret in a matchup long in the ages. This one's for all the marbles. Nope, I'm keeping the marbles. This one's for pick 1 or pick 2. We're going to go ahead and release them, and we'll see what happens when a shark meets a thunderbolt. in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and there's immediate mayhem. It's Shark Week, but the Thunderbolt is staying on. That was one of the quickest and most... that was one of the least interesting matches I've seen, and yet here it is, the last one. Things were over so rapidly, but it looks like Bret will go ahead and get that top pick, topping Kristal again. Kristal will finish with the second pick, and that's it for this video. I thank you all for watching.